Well, hey there, everyone. Does this mug have anything about what we're gonna do today? Yes, it does, actually. It does indeed. So, gathering that it is a mushroom, I'm gonna do something mushroom today. Something that I've been wanting to do for a long time, and that is mushroom core. If there is one thing that I am in this world, aside from hobbit core and cottage core and everything else, it's mushroom core. I love mushrooms more than I love most things, and I own too many mushroom things, more than I want to admit, including 2 of these mugs from World Market. So, we're gonna do mushroom core today. And something that I've been wanting to do for a long time, which the trend has passed on, but I still want to do it, is make a mushroom hat. So that's kinda what we're gonna do today. But more than a mushroom hat, I wanted to make a mushroom like outfit, to make like a mushroom person. Something that you would generally see somebody wear at the Ren Fair, which is pretty much what I'm going for. So for the materials, I was looking at my stash and I didn't really want to go shopping for material. So I just decided I was going to go off of what I had in my stash. And so I didn't have any like reds or anything to do like the classic mushroom outfit, but what I did have was some really pretty greens. So I drew out a sketch of kind of what I want this to look like. So I'm going to be making the hat and then the shirt corsety part. The bottom half is stuff that I already own and can be interchangeable. So this is kind of what I drafted out. So we have our mushroom hat here, and then our mushroom shirt. So it's going to be like a corset, sweetheart neckline, poofy sleeves, and then I can wear pants, skirt, whatever the heck I want on the bottom. So yeah, I'm going to end up using the pattern that I made for the Anna corset actually for the top, aside from the sleeves obviously, but I am going to use that same like sweetheart neckline, pointed little bottom for this top, and I know that it already fits well because I did duct tape myself to make that pattern, so it fits and I've made something with it already, so I know it works. And then for the puff sleeves, I'm just going to use, I think it's from like a silky dress pattern, so just a puff sleeve. And then for the hat, so pretty much the materials that I have 2 curtains that aren't exactly the same, but they're close enough to be kind of the same. So I have enough of one to make the shirt, and then I have enough of the other to make the hat. So they're kind of gonna look the same. So these are thrifted curtains. So for the hat, this is primarily going to be made out of cardboard, just like you see if you like look up on TikTok or YouTube or anything. A lot of people do pretty much the same method that I'm gonna do, with cardboard and then just like draping material on and generally tons of hot glue. So that's what I'm going to be doing. You'll see how I do it later. But for now, let's get into the shirt. So I am going to have both the lining and the outer fabric in this green fabric. So this is going to be the same process as the Anna dress, except I forgot to get interfacing at the store again. So there's no interfacing on this top, which I probably should have done, but I just didn't go to the store, so it's not going to have interfacing. So yeah, once everything is cut out, I'm just going to sew everything together for both the lining and the outer fabric. So I'm going to see you after all that. Now once everything is sewn together for the lining and the outer fabric, I'm gonna cheat a little bit with boning. I know I should put it in casing or something, but I really just feel like cutting some corners today. So I'm just gonna take some, what's it called? Zip ties, the big zip ties that I use for boning, and I'm just gonna glue them straight onto the lining seams of the inside, so they're not gonna be able to be seen, but it is going to add some structure to this bodice. Ignore that I'm doing it all wrong. So yeah, I'm just gonna hot glue those straight on. And then once those are hot glued, I can go ahead and I'm going to put the outer fabric and lining. I'm going to place some braces together and then sew just along the top, not the sides or the bottom, because I'm going to deal with those later. So once that's sewn together, I'm just going to flip it right sides out, iron it and whatnot, and then for the sides that are open, I'm going to fold them in twice and then make boning channels and grommet channels, because this is going to be a corseted back and I really want the back to be structured because of the corset part. And then for the bottom, it's just going to get a light green bias tape that I had, and then this top is almost done and ready for mushroomification. Mushroomification? Yeah, we're gonna say that's a word. So I'm gonna see you after all that. Now for the sleeves, I did cut out a sulky sleeve pattern, so just a big poofy sleeve, and so before I start to sew the sleeve together, I'm going to paint. So now is the fun part, the painting process. So to make this a mushroomy top, you can see that I had little circles in my design, and that is meant to be white dots. So I'm just gonna paint straight on the material with acrylic paint, and I'm just gonna put little circles all around the top. So I kind of want the circles to be like more focused around the top and then like less towards the bottom, and then the same with the sleeves, is more at the top and less at the bottom. So that's kind of what I'm gonna do with it, and I'm just gonna paint straight on that material. Yeah. So I'm gonna see you after that. Now to put the sleeves together. So for this, I think the pattern generally, usually has like 2 layers for the sleeve, but I'm just doing one because I only need one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an elastic channel around the top, and then I'm going to sew the sleeve together, and then once I'm there, I'm going to create an elastic channel around the bottom, and then it just gets sewn straight on to the top. So that's pretty much the sleeves. Pretty simple, pretty easy, and then the top is done. So I'm gonna see you after that to explain the hat situation. For the hat, I was gonna try and use a sun hat that I had just to see if I can do it without having to do lots of work. But that did not work out because the sun hat was too floppy. So I did have to do this the way that people usually do it, and that is with cardboard. So the cardboard that I had was convenient. I had some trifold cardboard things. And so that's what I'm going to use. So the first thing I have to do, so I am going to use the measurement from the sun hat, however. So I'm going to cut out a big circle, 2 of them out of each of the poster boards, and then I'm going to cut out a circle for my head. And then once that's done, I'm going to put a little rim around the circle, and this is all going to be hot glued together. Very simple. And then you'll see how I kind of do this, but I'm going to put a little frame for the head, and then I have to put a frame for the mushroom. So I'm just going to take strips of cardboard and just like glue them. You'll see how I do it, and that creates our like structure for the mushroom. So I'm going to see you after all that's done. Alright, now that our mushroom is structured, it is time to start putting fabric on. So in hindsight, you'll see what I mean later, but I do put material in like the dome part for my dome. And then I put the ruffles around the bottom, and that's going to be that white part they see for the mushroom. But I should have done it in a different order because I did the ruffles first and then I did the top. You'll see how I kind of fix that later. So if you're doing this, maybe reverse that. But it doesn't matter anyways. So what I did for the ruffles around the inside of the mushroom is I took a strip of just white sheet, and then I went ahead and I gathered one side so I could gather it to the size of the circle for the inside. So then I just hot glued that all the way around, and then I hot glued the rest of it around and then trimmed it. And then for the material for my head, I just kind of like draped material inside and then roughly cut around what needed to be there, and then I hot glued that down, and then I trimmed that, and now I have exposed edges. So thankfully I did have some lace that I could use to just literally hot glue around and hide those exposed edges. And then for the green material, I went ahead and I draped that on top, and I just hot glued it around, trimmed it, and then I again used that same lace to hide the exposed material. and I just hot glued that down. And then I did also end up adding a little like strap, so I just hot glued some ribbon to the inside of the headpiece so that could hang down, I could tie it later. And then last step is to paint white dots on it, so it's going to have the same kind of the pattern of dots that the shirt and the sleeves had. So it's going to have more dots around the rim and then less going up, so kind of reversed. And then everything is done, so I guess I'll see you in the final look. right. I think this turned out really, really cute. The shirt turned out really good. Minus a bit of the boning sticking out, but that's fine. But the color and the paint and the sleeves, I think, turned out really good, and they can be interchangeable. And they're comfortable, which is a plus. The hat turned out really good too. I wish it was a bit more domed, but I think the material was just really heavy, so it just caved it in just a little bit, but I think it's still fine. And the stuffing's holding it up, and I think the rim turned out looking really good, especially with the lace covering all the exposed edges, and the paint still turned out really good, and the materials matched just enough to where like you wouldn't question that they were two different curtains. But yeah, and then I was contemplating wearing pants with this to be a little mushroom person, but I really just liked the look of this this skirt underneath. It just made it so nice and flowy, and I was so happy with it. And then I got my little white freckles and my two little braids. I am living the life dressed as a mushroom person. Yeah, and I think I generally don't see people do like green mushrooms like this. I've seen like gothic mushrooms, I've seen brown mushrooms, I've seen like the regular red mushroom, but I don't think I've really seen green ones like this. And I'm really happy with how it turned out, because I still wanted to do like the classic, you know, mushroom look with the polka dots and whatnot. I just didn't have red, and I didn't feel like going to get red, and I thought this green just matched really well. And it also like kind of complements my strawberry blondish hair, so I extra like that. And now I just want to go frolic. I think next Ren Fair time, this is definitely going to be one of the contenders of wearing this to the Ren Fair. Even though I have like 20 million things I could wear to a Ren Fair, this is definitely a contender, because you generally go to the Ren Fair and you see people in mushroom hats, and I've wanted to do that for so long, and I just haven't done it. So I'm so happy that I did it this time. Yeah, it is a little heavy. I feel like if I were to wear this all day, I would need to put some sort of cushioning up at the rim here, because that's kind of cutting into my head, because the fabric's so heavy. But other than that, I think it turned out really cute. So yeah, this isn't like a cosplay, this isn't like an autumn look, this is just something for fun. And I think I want to do some more stuff like this, some more just like experimental, more fun things, rather than just, you know, recreating a look, or, you know, just doing casual looks. I want to do something more like this, something where I can like dress up a little bit and do little white freckles. If it sounds like The Walking Dead out there, that's because my cat's scratching at the door. So yeah, let me know if you liked this, and if you want to see more kind of stuff like this. I'm definitely down to do some more experimental sewing, crafty things in one. I did burn the living crap out of my thumb doing this hat, so I guess be careful if you're making a mushroom hat, because I burnt my hands quite a lot trying to get everything glued down. But it's fun. I got a good result out of it. Yeah, let me know what you want to see more of. So, anywho, if you liked what I did, go ahead and like and subscribe. I post most Saturdays, mostly at noon, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you for watching!